Like, if this person is saying that what I'm doing is wrong and bad, why am I even trying? And we can't do that. We need to encourage everyone to do what they can and to do the best with what they have. We're all doing the best with what we have. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bethany Urban Farm. This is Coral, and this is a very impromptu video. I was just sitting on my bed scrolling through YouTube, and I came across a video that made me very upset and disappointed, and I just had to make an and I just had to say something about it. I know that I don't have very many followers, and I don't know who's gonna see this, but I feel the need to say something because it's wrong. So Emma Gardner just released a video called Why Bagged Soil is Garbage or something, why you should never use bagged soil. And toward the middle to end of the video, he talks about why, in his opinion, you should never ever use soil that comes out of a bag. He elaborates by saying that bagged soil has no organic matter, it contains garbage, and even though some people live in cities, there's no place that doesn't have access to farms or municipal waste. So let's unpack a few things. So, number one, bagged soil is not all garbage. There are plenty of bagged soils that are beautiful, wonderful, organic, full of organic matter soils that come in a bag. The reason why they come in a bag is to make them more accessible. So they're accessible to people who live in cities, so that they're accessible to people who don't have trucks or large vehicles to transport lots and lots of bulk soil, accessible for those of us who just have a balcony or a patio and can't make use of a lot of compost, but also can't make our own compost for reasons like you can't put a composting bin on a balcony because that's not safe or useful in any way, or we have landlords who don't let us compost. There's so many reasons why you would need you'd need bag out of a soil, why you would need soil out of a bag. There's so many reasons. For people with disabilities, like, you're like, oh, people need to drive 1 or 2 miles to get to a farm and get their own compost. A, some people can't drive. B, some people can drive but don't have cars. C, some people can't drive so far away. What if you have kids and you're a single parent? What if you have kids with disabilities and they can't go in the car for that long? Also, I don't understand why you think that there's always a farm within a 2-mile radius of your house. That is not true. I don't know where you've lived, but there are plenty of places in the United States and Canada and beyond that you have to drive for at least an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to get to farms. So that's about farms. I'm not sure if you're suggesting we just like walk up to a farmer and like ask for his compost. Cause like I would not feel comfortable doing that as a woman or as someone with mental illness. Like, that would make me so anxious. I'm not really sure what the suggestion is there, because you just kind of say like, oh, everyone has access to farms, but you don't really say like how we should go about getting, the wind is also angry, how we should go about getting soil from farmers. And then on your point about municipal waste facilities. So yes, a lot of cities do have municipal waste facilities where they process household green waste. When I lived in Vancouver, there was a municipal waste facility where you can go and get compost. You have to have your own pickup truck or truck where you can or trailer or something that you can use to transport the soil. I have a Toyota Matrix. You can't put soil in there. Or maybe you could put like 2 Rubbermaids full of soil, but yeah, you need a truck to transport it. And when I got soil from the municipal facility, I was appalled because there was so much garbage mixed in with the compost, and that's because so many people put soft plastics and glass and other things into their household waste, and the municipal facilities aren't making soil for consumers, so they don't go through it to make sure that there isn't those things. So I'm really confused as to why there's this idea that bagged soil is bad because it's sifted and bad because it contains garbage. Like, it's totally the other way around. If you go and get bulk soil, it's way more likely to have garbage and pieces of glass and be not regulated and not like, oh, there's a hummingbird. Are you gonna come say hello, hummingbird? Thank you. Making me a little more calm. There's my friend. My friend the hummingbird, chilling out with me. So the reason why soil in bags is sifted is to get rid of the things like garbage and big pieces of wood and rocks and all that stuff. So if you're getting soil from a municipal facility that is not intending to make soil for consumers, or you're getting bagged or bulk compost that's not in a bag, so that means it's inherently better? Like, no, there's bad bag soil and there's bad bulk soil. And yeah, the time that I got soil from the municipal facility, I tried it because it was really affordable. It was about $20 per ton or something. And then when I was doing more research, people really cautioned against using this municipal waste because it can contain chemicals and pesticides and all kinds of things that regulated bagged soil would not have in it. So the bag soil that I use, I love sea soil. I love the sea soil regular and the sea soil container mix that has cocoa core in it. It's not true that all container mix has peat. I am against peat because it's a non-renewable resource, essentially, because it takes about 250 years to replenish a peat bog, and peat bogs are crucial for all kinds of wildlife, so I don't use peat. But I do use container mix, and I use the sea soil container mix because it doesn't contain peat and it contains cocoa core. On that note, cocoa core is amazing, and it comes in a bag, and it's amazing. It's so useful for adding light aeration to organic matter. You can also make your own compost and mix it with bagged compost. If you're on a budget and you can't afford sea soil, or you can't afford really good bulk compost that goes for about $200 a pop, you can mix lower quality topsoil that does not contain organic matter with compost that you either make yourself, or you can buy a couple of bags of topsoil and mix it with a bag of compost. I just think that it's so alienating and demoralizing to new gardeners who are trying this for the first time. They have a couple of containers on their balcony, they don't have a car, and they just have their local garden center, and they're trying their best, and when they see these black and white statements of truth that say this is the wrong way to do something, this is the right way to do something, and there's nothing in between, that can be so, it can feel like you shouldn't even try. Like, if this person is saying that what I'm doing is wrong and bad, why am I even trying? And we can't do that. We need to encourage everyone to do what they can and to do the best with what they have. We're all doing the best with what we have. And growing one vegetable in one container with a bag of topsoil and fertilizing it with synthetic chemical fertilizers is better than not trying at all. Literally making soil out of whatever you can find, or buying the cheapest bag that you can afford at the grocery store, and buying a pot of basil from the grocery store and bringing it home and trying, that is good and right, and no one can tell you that it's wrong. There is no such thing as rules in gardening. We're all just making it up. Nature is the rule, and we are all just trying to do our best to simulate that system. And who are you to come here and make people feel less than? Make people feel like they're doing something wrong? You can grow using bagged soil. You can grow beautiful plants and beautiful vegetables and feed your family with grocery store bagged soil. You can. And I will not let anyone tell you different. Get your hands on any kind of soil you can use. Sure, there are better kinds of soil. A trick is, if you have to use bagged soil, like I do, look at the bag, look at the ingredients. If there aren't ingredients, I would stay away from that one, but look and see if there's ingredients. Look for organic matter like manure, compost, things like that. I also just need to reiterate that you're not likely to find garbage in bagged soil. I've never found garbage in bagged soil. I've only ever found garbage when I use municipal soil. So if you need to use bagged soil, look at the ingredients. Look for good organic matter or manure. Mushroom manure is great. Look for cocoa peat or cocoa coir. It comes in a compressed brick and you add water to it, and you can mix that with you can mix that with more expensive compost if you can't fill your containers with the Sea Soil brand of compost container mix. Just buy the cheapest manure you can find. Mushroom manure usually goes for about $3 a bag. Any kind of manure, mix that with some cocoa peat, some cocoa coir, and you have a beautiful potting soil, and it costs you like 50 cents a pop. So those are my tips for what you should do if you have to use bagged soil. Remember that you are not wrong or bad or doing anything wrong or failing or not being a good enough organic gardener. I'm going to make a video on all of the different bagged soil you can buy when I'm less angry and more put together. I'm going to take you to my local grocery store and my local garden center and show you the different kinds of bagged soil you can get, and show you the things that you want to look for, and tell you how to make your own potting mix, how to make your own seed starting mix, how to make your own general planting mix. And it's really, really important to me to get information out to people who need the information, because they're just starting out and they don't know, and they have to work within a limited budget. That's why I love Jessica Soward so much from Roots and Refuge. She talks about being low income, doing the best with what you have. Go watch her video on growing salad greens in a bag of soil. That's an excellent video. I'll link it down below. Growing things in kiddie pools, using what you have. She is amazing at that. No BS, no pretentious. She also has a really good video on general like black and white statements in gardening and like rules in gardening, and why it's not helpful or true to use black and white statements, because usually everything is a shade of gray. So I'll link that video down below as well, because that's kind of what I'm trying to say, but in a much more eloquent and put together and calm manner, because I am just full of passion and rage, and I just want to tell you that you are doing a good job. Use what you have, do what you can, grow anything with anything, and you are doing a good job. And I love you, and I support you. Talk soon.